Welcome back, everybody. But first, a word from our, not sponsor. Howdy hi there, friends and neighbors. Come on down to El Monte Slims, where we got some damn good deals for you. Right here, we got this 1970 SRAM Numa tractor. That's right. Half tractor, half air compressor. You can't go wrong. You get a flat tire, you stop and fill yourself up. Your friends will say, hot damn, it's a SRAM. And this puppy is loaded. We got electric starter, electric generator, electric battery holder, and beer holder. And not single, but dual oil bath air filters. One of these, one of those, and let's not forget the steering wheel and a big old bucket seat for your big old bucket. You like big tires? These puppies are 11.2 on 24-inch rims. Sorry, no spinners. And it's all yours for only $2,000 down, $2,000 a month for 2 months. Who could go wrong? So come on down to El Monte Slims. Sold as is. May need fixin'. Delivery not available. What a piece of crap. Oh, and back to our show. Okay, today we're going to do a walkthrough on the Monte Cristo Lower addit. It's been draining for about a year now, so hopefully it's not too wet inside. This is more of a haulage tunnel. They didn't really find much in here, but this is the one that's open and accessible right now. So we'll start up our little generator outside to give us some lights and go for a walk. You'll notice here that you can kind of see some rust marks on the ground where there's rails underneath rusting away. This is a railed addit, and later on you'll see some rails pop up out of the ground. It's right here. We got some rails coming up out of the ground, but it's a kind of an odd gauge. And here we've got some quartz and some stuff on the wall. It looks mineralized, but apparently it wasn't too big of a deal because they passed it by. Here's some more quartz with rust marks on it. Now theoretically, the vein above what comes down here, and this is what they were looking for. They were looking for the lower extension of the vein, but later surveys showed that they passed it by about 30 feet. So we keep an eye open in this tunnel to see if anything shows up. And you see the water line on the ground to the left. That's it's a water line to help drain the tunnel. It gets kind of wet in here during the rains. And if you look out your right window, you'll see some artifacts that we found. It's a chisel, a pick head, a short-handled pick, and an old monkey wrench. Just a few of the little trinkets that we found around here. So here's our first intersection coming up. This is where we branch off into two drifts. So this one here is a short one. They were following a vein in. We use it to store our flammable liquids in during the forest fires so that we don't lose those. But this is about a 30-foot drift. We find a lot of flowstone. Just it's covering the floor. It's on the walls. This is all calcite that has leached out of the rock and reformed on the floor and the walls. It looks like it'd be real slick and smooth, but it's actually like a fine sandpaper. It's got some grit to it. Now if it had some iron mineralization in it, it would look like bacon. And in fact there is a form of this calcite that is called bacon calcite. Kind of interesting. I've only seen it in a couple of places, but not up here. This is an extension of the tunnel. When they were looking for the vein, they gave up and decided they better make a left-hand turn and head on up this way. Now these rail tracks here are here for a reason. They used to run a minecart on it, of course. Actually, we're going to go back into the tunnel here, and I'll show you where they were dumping the ore down from. Well, off to the left is the extension of the mine. We'll go back there in a moment. But first we're going to go into this room here. This is pretty much a sealed door with a fan in it. And this enables us to use this room as a generator room. So we run the generator and the fan pressurizes it and blows the exhaust back into the tunnel here and then up out through a shaft that goes up to the top to outside. It's about 130 feet up. So let's look up here. So the shaft goes up and kind of makes a jog just before it gets down here to the bottom. We think they probably had some ore bins down here, something to catch it. Then they dump it into the ore cart and haul it out. This goes up to the upper level, which is collapsed, so we haven't been able to get into that. But we believe they dropped ore down here, let gravity get it down the hill for them. But you see there is some veining here with some mineralization in it. We might take a poke at that, see if we can get anything out of there. We're still looking for the extension of the vein where it comes down from above. Hopefully when it comes down here it'll still be rich. But over the years it's said that they pulled out about $3 million in gold in today's money. So I'm looking to find something like that. Now right here we got that black splotch is something that died. See, there's the tail. It just gives me the creeps. It's gross. At least it wasn't a bear. That'd really stink the place up. Alright, we're looking around here. Always looking around to see if there's any quartz or anything sticking out of the wall. That's my wife there. She's carrying the main light. She's the light of my life. So we're going to go out here and fire up our main generator and get things going. Unfortunately, I don't have lights all the way to the back, so we're going to have to go it with flashlight for a little bit. Let's get this sucker started. Started up right away. That's good. Second pull. Hope it doesn't blow a fuse. Now the fan that I have in here is on a hinge. So once the generator starts running, the fan runs, and if it's left open, if it's left pushed in, it will blow itself closed just to make sure that we keep airflow in the right direction. Then once you close the door, that pressurizes that back chamber area and blows the exhaust out. I had rented out this room to a mountain ogre and his wife, but you know, they wanted to pay their bills in bones and rocks, and that didn't work for me. I had to kick them out. Anyhow, let's follow the tracks back. First place we come to is this little intersection here. Robert's been doing some work here. But off to the left, we have a little crawl space, and inside there is some workings. They actually found some more veining, but it apparently wasn't enough for them to go after it. But let's take a look inside anyway. Go for a low crawl. First couple feet you can walk in, but then you got to get on your hands and knees because the ceiling drops pretty low. Oh, there's my extension cord I've been looking for. Anyhow, that's how far they made it back. But they did cut off to the right here. And there's some mineralization. And if you look over here in the corner, you can actually see a vein with some black material between it. Now I've sampled this and didn't find anything in it. So we'll have to revisit this someday in the future and see if we can expose any gold. But we're going to head on out. Go for another wet, muddy crawl here. Sorry about the jerky video, but you got a jerky cameraman operating the camera. back on my feet. Alright, let's head back down the tunnel some more. Now you see here, we got rail tracks kind of end, but you can see in the mud ahead where the rail ties used to go, and they've kind of left a permanent impression in the floor. So we'll just follow those. You got to be careful you don't step in them. They do contain water. They'll make your feet wet. But here's some more mineralization, some more quartz. Now, I've gone through and sampled these areas, and from time to time you'll see a little metal tag with the number pierced in it, like this one here. This was sample number 2. This one had a lot of pyrites, that's why I took it. And we roasted the pyrites and really didn't find anything. But got some rocks down too. This is a hard rock mine, so you really don't need support structure, but you do need to be careful about rocks falling off the ceiling. They will hurt you. Here's another sample place. That's apparently number 4. We'll head on down some more. This is a pad here that they poured, concrete pad, and that used to hold a valve and a junction for their airlines. Apparently they thought there was enough back here to put in airlines. So now we come into this area. This is stoped up about 20 feet. And the ceiling is all dark. From what I can ascertain, there was some wooden structure in here that they used to access the ceiling. But in the 40s, when the government closed down the mines, they burned the wooden structure to cause ash to cover up the quartz veins so that no one could come in and easily find where they were working. But if you look close, I mean, you can see quartz textured material, and in places where the black has come off, there's actually exposed quartz. That might be the vein from above where it comes down through here. It's a pretty good sized vein. So we'll have to build some scaffolding and get up there, maybe pressure wash the ceiling and get some of this ash off here. But yeah, it's down low, it's white anorthosite rock, and as you go up it turns black, and that's where the quartz vein is. You can see it sticking out down there a little bit. I wouldn't mind coming through here and tearing the ceiling out and following that vein up if it has something in it. But time will tell. There's some quartz poking through. Look at it, looks like it's been shot with some minerals, so it's a good chance that it may contain some gold. And the rail tracks used to come out and through here, but this was a little alcove that I think was cut out for people to step into so the car can go by. There's also a jug of Carlos Rossi wine on the ground there, but it has oil in it for the pneumatic drills. Now we go back here, and somebody wasn't too good about cleaning up. There's dirt piled up on the side. They didn't ship it out, but that's the face right there, the end of the mine. But if you make a quick turn to the left, there's a quartz vein in here, some mineralization, some tools. So this is as far as they made it, and they stopped. See some foliated veining, some mineralization. Sorry about the flashlight, it kind of gives everything a brownish brownish tint around the edges, so it looks like there's iron. Now this is a pocket of iron pyrite. This was sample number 7. It had no gold in it, or at least none that I could detect. And this is the end of the mine. 445 feet of mine tunnel, or a mine addit. A tunnel has an opening at both ends. And this down here is a little mirror. That's so when you're working back here, you can keep an eye and make sure that there's nothing sneaking up behind you to eat you. But there are shots of quartz throughout here. We've sampled a few and really haven't found anything, but then again, we haven't done a lot of digging. It's just been surface samples, some grab samples. Haven't been able to do any dynamiting because I don't have a dynamite license. So we have to use a hammer and chisel. So we'll head on out now. I'll just be quiet and let you enjoy the ride. Yeah, I stepped in a puddle. Damn it. Now going down this tunnel, you'll see the quartz on the right side. That would be the hanging wall. And the other side would be the foot wall, which correlates with the vein above. And here's some mineralization. Good sign, but there's not a lot of it. Although this spot here, if I get the light on it right, you can see it has a lot of shiny stuff in it. Although it's not gold shiny. But, you know, who knows? Maybe it's a silver mine. Maybe it's a platinum mine. Maybe it's one of them Uranus mines. Who knows? That's a more flow stone. It appears here and there. That's where our water comes from, so we got to keep the mine drained. And here we're back at the little gopher hole. We'll make our way back to the generator room and start shutting things down. Well, apparently we're 250 feet into the mine still. Whatever. Now you see the rut going down the floor. That's where the water flowed through here. It actually eroded out the floor. So we do get some water flow in here when it rains. I always stop here and look behind me just to make sure nothing snuck in the mine while I was in here. Don't want to get jumped from behind by a bear. Go towards the light, my son. Go towards the light. Hey, cut that out. You know it's not my time. This little generator that we used to run the main lights down the tunnel, about a year and a half ago, it was completely submerged in mud. So I tore it down, changed bearings, cleaned up stuff, and it's been a great little workhorse. It's been running ever since. So let's look at it from the outside now. This is where the Monte Cristo Lower addit is, the place we just were. And up the hill, you see this mine dump. That's where the upper addit is located, or was located until it collapsed. You can even see old rail tracks sticking off the edge here. Now this is the collapsed area. You can see that they must have found something, because they stoped it to the surface and let it collapse. So there's no way we can dig that out. But we've been down in these holes and looked around, and there's some interesting stuff down there. See that little bridge that's left there? We're going to take that out because it looks like it might have something. That right there. They probably left that there just to hold up the ground, but we don't care if the ground holds up anymore. We just want the gold. Now we've pulled out a couple of pieces of timber from the collapsed area. So we've got a couple of uprights, got the cross members. But the one that I find interesting is the big one in the back there. See this one here, this is hand hewn. This is all cut with an adze or an axe, depending on how they did it. But apparently they got tired of going and buying wood, so they started using local trees. But I'm going to use that for something. That's a keeper piece. That's got some character. Here's the rail track sticking out. We got it zoomed in here. And right behind us, next to the road, is this sign that I put up, open pit. This is the top of the shaft that goes down to the lower mine, and as it does, it passes through the upper addit. It's hard to see down there, but you know, don't want to lean over too far. If you go down probably about 30 feet is where the rail tracks from the upper addit crossed over that pit so they could dump ore down into that shaft, so it would go down to the lower addit where they could haul it out. Save them hauling it down the mountain. So some junk down there, but you can see the rail tracks. I'd hate to fall down there. It's not the fall that's going to hurt, it's bouncing off the walls and the sudden stop at the bottom. Now this is looking across the shaft, and you see that there's the vein going up the wall here. It's not too well defined, and I didn't find anything in it when I was looking at it. But you can see how they've stoped this up, and a lot of material has fallen in, and that's plugged in the upper mine. It would take an excavator and a couple of people a few weeks to dig all that out, but we're anticipating going in through this hole here and digging down at an angle which should connect us to the upper addit. But that's going to be left to the future when I've got time to do some work. Throughout these hills we have little excavations like this. This is the Monte Cristo Center prospect. We call it the Bear Cave, but it's goes back about 10 feet down at an angle and ends. Well, after all that walking, I needed a beer, so I had my people fly me in a beer, and they used the heavy lift helicopter, the dual rotor. I guess they didn't have any light beer, so they had to use this chopper to bring it in. Well, that'll do it for this walkthrough of the Monte Cristo Lower addit. Next video I'm working on is going to be a history background of the Monte Cristo from the approximate date of founding until current. Until then, see ya! Documentation and mind maps used in this video today were from a paper called The Geology of the Monte Cristo Mining Area by Rodney T. Phipps. This is available for download through the California Institute of Technology website.